Hey there, first graders. Welcome. I am so excited you're hanging out with us today because we are going on a totally fantastic science adventure right here on The Explainer. We're going to become science detectives. Yep, you and me. And we're going to learn how to sort literally everything in the entire world into two super important groups. That's right, everything you can see, touch, or play with. It's either a living thing or a non-living thing. So are you ready? Got your invisible detective hats on? Let's go. Okay, let's dive into this with a seriously funny question. Picture a little girl named Zoe. Now, Zoe is super hungry, and she's just about to peel a delicious bright yellow banana. But sitting right next to her is her absolute favorite toy robot. Do you think that toy robot is hungry too? I mean, can a toy robot actually eat a banana? Think about it. If you tried to feed it, well, that banana would just get totally squished everywhere. The robot doesn't have a tummy, right? It doesn't get hungry at all. And you know what? That is our very first big clue to solving today's science mystery. Section 1, all about living things. So, to figure out why the robot definitely does not want Zoe's banana, we need to learn our magic word for today. And that word is alive. Can you say that with me out loud? Alive. Living things are alive. That basically means they have life inside them. Take a second and look around your classroom right now. What living things can you spot? Are your friends sitting next to you living things? Yes. Is your teacher a living thing? For sure, yes. You guys are all alive. Every living thing has this special kind of survival checklist. These are the things they absolutely, positively must have to stay alive. First up, they need air to breathe. Do you need air? Yes, you do. Take a really big breath in and let it out. Just like a fish uses its little gills to get air under the water, you use your nose and your lungs. Second, living things need water to drink. And third, they need food to eat. Just like a big, fluffy orangutan munching on fruit in the jungle, you need your lunch to give you the energy to play. Air, water, and food. Those are the 3 golden rules of being alive. Now here's a little plot twist for you. Plants are actually living things too. I know, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, a tree doesn't have a mouth. How on earth can it eat or drink? Well, even though they aren't, chewing on sandwiches or sipping from little water bottles, plants take in water from the dirt using their roots, and they actually take in air and make their very own food right inside their green leaves. It's like magic, but it's science. If a plant doesn't get its air, water, and food, it won't survive. So yes, they are absolutely alive. Section 2, what living things do. Okay, we know what living things need, but what can they actually do? Well, one of the absolutely coolest things living things do is they grow and change. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. We start with a tiny, cute little baby calf. Then as it eats its food and drinks its water, it gets bigger and bigger, turning into a growing calf and finally into a massive adult cow. Think about yourself for a second. Think about your baby photos. Do you look exactly the same today as you did when you were a tiny baby? No way! You grew, your hair got longer, you got way taller. That totally proves you are a living thing. But wait, hold on, there's actually more. Living things can do a bunch of other stuff too. They can move, totally by themselves. Picture a little bird flying high up into the sky the second a kid runs toward it. That bird is responding to a change. It sees the kid coming and thinks, whoops, time to go, and moves away to stay safe. Living things can also have young, which is just a fancy way of saying animals can have babies and plants can make little baby plants. And really importantly, because living things are alive, one day they will naturally reach the very end of their life and die. And that's just a totally normal, gentle part of being a living thing in our big world. Section 3, exploring non-living things. All right, let's flip things around and look at the totally opposite side of the world. Imagine a giant toy box in your bedroom. If you close the lid on that box and leave it for a whole week, are your toys gonna get hungry in there? Nope, because they are non-living. Non-living basically means things that are not alive. Think about a little girl named Sue. So Sue is staring at her favorite teddy bear, and she's wondering, hey, why isn't my teddy bear eating its breakfast? Well, it's because a teddy bear is non-living. It's just stuffed with soft, fluffy cotton, right? It doesn't have a real tummy, it doesn't need air, it definitely doesn't need water, and it 0% needs food. Let's compare two things that might look kinda similar but are actually super different. On one side, we've got a real furry kitty cat. If you put down a little bowl of water, that real cat is gonna lap it right up. If you call out its name, it'll twitch its ears, turn its head, and meow right at you. But on the other side, Look at Joe's toy cat. Joe can yell, "Come here, kitty," literally all day long, but that toy cat is never going to respond to his voice. It can't move by itself at all because, yep, you guessed it is non-living. We can actually do this exact same test with plants. Say you have a real living plant. If you give it nice fresh water and lots of bright sunlight, 1 year later, it's going to be bigger. 5 years later, it might be a giant tree. But what if you have one of those shiny plastic fake plants? You can put it up on a shelf, wait a whole year, wait 5 whole years, and it is going to look exactly the same. A plastic plant can't grow. It can't change. It was never alive to begin with, so it can't die either. Section 4, the ultimate robot test. Let's move to and see how this builds. We have gathered so many awesome clues today, detectives, but now it's time for our absolute final challenge. Remember Zoe's little toy robot from the very beginning of our explainer? Well, what if we have a robot that is way more tricky to figure out? I want you to meet Sophia. Sophia is a super special, really famous robot. She's what we call a human-like robot. Her face actually moves, she can talk right to you, answer your questions, and she can even walk around. When you first look at her, she honestly looks just like a real person. So, what do you think? Is Sophia alive? Okay, let's pull out our detective checklist. Does Sophia eat yummy food? Nope. Does she drink a glass of water? No. Does she breathe air into lungs? No again. Even though she can walk and she can talk, she only moves because she has a big battery hidden inside her, just like your tablet or the TV remote control. When her battery runs all the way out, she just stops. She has to be plugged right into the wall to charge back up. She can't grow up into an adult, and she definitely can't have babies. Sophia is a totally amazing machine for sure, but she is absolutely a non-living thing. Mystery solved. Section 5, what we have learned. Give yourselves a massive round of applause, first grade detectives. We completely figured it out. We know exactly why Zoe's robot does not want a squishy banana, and we know exactly why Sophia the robot isn't a living human. So, the crucial point is right here on our final checklist. On the living things side, they must have air, water, and food. They can move all by themselves, they respond to stuff happening around them, they grow up, they have babies, and eventually they die. Now, over on the non-living things side, they do not need air, water, or food, they cannot move by themselves, they don't respond, they never ever grow, and they cannot die. If you are ever confused, just ask yourself this one simple question: does this thing need a snack? If the answer is no, then it's probably non-living. But hey, before I let you go, I have one last super tricky puzzle for you to chew on. Think about a tiny little seed, just a tiny speck. If you hold that seed in your hand, it doesn't move at all. It definitely doesn't look like it's breathing. It can literally sit inside a little paper packet for a very long time and stay exactly the same. But if you take that same seed, bury it in the dirt, and give it some water, it grows into a massive, beautiful plant. So what do you think? Is a tiny seed a living thing or a non-living thing? I want you to take that huge mystery and discuss it with your classmates and your teacher today. Thanks so much for joining me on our explainer adventure, and keep exploring the amazing world around you. Bye for now.